Something's wrong. My eyes, they burn. My eyes, I can't see, Oledo screamed. Arriving at the hospital, the doctor delivered the devastating news. Oledo is blind. Once upon a time, in the southern part of Nigeria, there lived two beautiful families in the village of Rumongwa. Both couples grew up as friends, attended the same secondary and tertiary institutions, worked at the same firms. They shared things in common, such that they shared a great bond. Their wives got pregnant same day, went through the 9 months of pregnancy safely, and delivered two beautiful baby girls on the same day. It was a great day of joy for both families. Friends and well-wishers came and visited them at the hospital to share in their joy. Both girls were named Adaku and Olaedo. The beautiful girls grew up together, seemingly inseparable like their parents. They attended the best primary school in their town and became the brightest pupils of their primary school. The two young girls, Adaku and Olaedo, enjoyed their childhood together. They spend time together, and any of them can spend the night at both houses. Growing much older, they experienced the joys and challenges of adolescence and puberty side by side. They participated in their secondary school inter-school quizzes and examinations, and they came out with flying colors. But there was a remarkable difference among the two. Olaedo was the brightest among the two friends. Olaedo helped Sadako with her schoolwork, and that was the reason why Adaku scores high in her academic activities. Regardless, both girls were tight and inseparable teenagers because of the background of their parents' love to each other. After the JAM and WAEC examinations, Olaedo excelled and scored the highest A's in that year's examination nationwide. Olaedo became nationally popular, creating Adaku's hidden jealousy. Olaedo was given an award by the then state governor of her state, and the college they attended also gave her the Most Outstanding Student Award. Both entered the same University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Both girls were studying accounting and finance. They shared the same room in the hostel, ate together, attend lectures together, just like their childhood memories. They lived as blood sisters. Olaedo, with her pure heart, was still helping Adaku with all her schoolworks as her sister. The beautiful memories couldn't last, as Adaku's crush, who was the governor's son, was interested in Olaedo, and has been pleading with Olaedo to accept her as her school friend. Olaedo, on the other hand, has declined his request severally, with answers that she wants to focus on her studies without distractions. Adaku advised Olaedo on many occasions not to give in to Henry's advances, the governor's son. This is a distraction to keep you away from being the most outstanding and brilliant young girl in Nigeria, Adaku advised her friend Olaedo, while in her heart she wished it was her that Henry wanted. Olaedo, who genuinely believed Adaku, repeatedly declined Henry. Henry then accepted his fate and moved on. One fateful day during their final year, Adaku went to Henry's house because of Henry's birthday celebration with an alcoholic drink to wish him happy birthday. Henry welcomed her, both exchanged pleasantries, and joked on the gossips going around in the campuses. Adaku then broke the shell during their conversation and told Henry that she wished it was her that he toasted instead of Olaedo, who is not more beautiful than her. Henry was shocked and pretended he did not understand what she was saying. Adaku went further to say, "Is it because Olaedo is brilliant? Can she take care of you?" Adaku shouted at Henry. Henry got angry and walked her out of his house. However, because Henry and Olaedo weren't talking as before again, Henry did not relate the incident to Olaedo. When the final result came out, Olaedo passed with the first class, while Adaku passed with the second class lower. Their parents were happy and were present on their convocation day. After the convocation, both parents with a thanksgiving in their churches gave God the glory for seeing their children through the university. Olaedo got automatic job opportunity at the national headquarters of the then Diamond Bank in Lagos. She pleaded with her directors for Adaku to be employed also, and a kind gesture of employment was granted to Adaku. Their parents rented an apartment for them in Lekki, well furnished that they weren't lacking anything. They were gifted cars to drive to work with. Both girls started work same day and were best of friends till the general manager started getting interested in Olaedo. Olaedo, who life has blessed with both brains and good work, was prepared and ready to settle down, having finished her studies, and marital union was her desire. She accepted the friendship of her general manager. Adaku, on the other hand, has been crushing and liking Mr. Williams, their general manager. She took the path she used during their university days as regards Henry, the then governor's son, but Olaedo told her that she is done with studies. "I am through with my studies. I have a good paying job, and as the only child, my parents expect me to settle down, which I also wanted." "Adaku, my friend, we should be thinking towards this same path too. We are no longer babies." Olaedo replied Adaku during one of the days she tried to remove Oledo's mind from dating their general manager, Mr. Williams. Adaku was internally angry that Olaedo would finally marry their GM and not her. The thought of not getting married to Mr. Williams immersed her for weeks and got worsened on the day Mr. Williams proposed to Olaedo. On that fateful morning in their office, as Olaedo and Adaku stepped into the banking auditorium, their colleagues were all standing, and the general manager walked towards Olaedo on his knees with a diamond customized ring. Olaedo couldn't believe her eyes. Adaku was in shock that her fears had turned to reality. Olaedo stretched her arms and with cheerful smile, saying, "Yes, yes." Mr. Williams took the ring and exacted on her finger. Everyone was happy and smiling, congratulating them, except Adaku, whose face was covered with fake smile. "You are so lucky and always take the best," Adaku said to Olaedo while congratulating her. "Yes, Adaku, my sister, I'm very lucky indeed," Olaedo replied Adaku. Despite Adaku's outward smiling appearances, Adaku harbored a deep resentment towards Olaedo. Days passed. Mr. Williams took Olaedo to his parents, and Olaedo introduced Mr. Williams to her parents too. The traditional marriage was done in Oledo's village, while the white wedding was fixed to be in Lagos. As Oledo's wedding day approached, both bride and groom's family buzzed with excitement, but not all was as it seems. "Why does she get everything? I will make sure she never forgets this day," Adaku with a fake smile murmured in her heart as the makeup artist was applying Oledo's makeup on that fateful wedding morning. The big day has arrived. Everyone was filled with joy and anticipation. "I can't believe today is finally here. Thank you for being here with me, Adaku. Olaedo, with happiness filled over her, said to Adaku. Always, Olaedo, always. I wish you all the best of life. Adaku replied with a fake smile. The bridesmaids were all dressed up and official pictures of both bride and her bridesmaids were taken. Everyone was set to enter the wedding cars to the church for the white wedding ceremony. In a moment of trust, Olaedo asked Adaku to help her get her white handkerchief. Adaku, who was waiting for the slight chance to pour what she got from a native doctor, hurriedly rubbed the powder the herbalist gave her to apply on anything Olaedo would personally use on her wedding day. Adaku got the handkerchief and handed it to Olaedo, having touched the evil powder on it. Little did Olaedo know that Adaku had other plans. As they were about to enter the car, Olaedo's eyes started to burn. Olaedo began to rub her eyes. Something is wrong with my eyes. They burn, Olaedo screamed. Olaedo was in pain. The bridesmaids were all worried and sad. They were concerned. What is happening to you, Olaedo? Adaku quickly called Olaedo's parents on her mobile phone to alert them on what's happening. One of the bridesmaids brought soap and water for Olaedo to wash her eyes. Immediately the soap touched her eyes. The burning sensation stopped. Panic ensued immediately as Olaedo fell on the ground, screaming in agony. I can't see. I can't see. I can't see with my eyes. Somebody should call my husband. Please take me to the hospital, she cried out. What happened? Olaedo's parents screamed as they rushed to where she was, seeing what's happening to their daughter. They were in tears. Mr. Williams already called an ambulance, which arrived and took Olaedo to the hospital. Arriving the hospital, the doctor delivered the devastating news. Olaedo is blind. Olaedo, sobbing in tears, she said, how could this happen on my wedding day? Blind like how? Olaedo was shocked in tears, lying on the hospital bed. Adaku continued in her deceit, pretending to support Olaedo through her darkest days. She kept visiting Olaedo with flowers and get-well-soon cards, but stopped when Olaedo's church pastor started coming around to pray for Olaedo every day. But truth has a way of surfacing. One day, during the 5th day of the prayers, Olaedo's pastor revealed what God showed to him. This blindness is caused by human, not by God. The Lord said it will return back to who sent it in Jesus' name. Amen, the pastor prayed. Confronted with the evidence, Adaku one unfaithful morning was struck with a thunderstrike. It was madness. As she ran out of her room, she ran towards the gate of their house and took off with bare legs to the streets. Her true colors were revealed. Her parents were in shock. They sent people to run after her, but Adaku was running with an unknown force in full speed. She ran towards the hospital. Getting into the hospital reception, she was shouting, Olaedo, 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 moving further to where Olaedo's private room was. I am sorry, Olaedo. I was jealous. I went to a native doctor who gave me a powder to use on you. Adaku was on her knees, crying, surrounded by the nurses that were angry with her behaviors. How could she run into the hospital like this? Olaedo, who was heartbroken, turned to her. How could you? We were like sisters. It is God that exposed you. Why would you do such thing to me, Ada? Olaedo shouted back at her in tears and turned away as the nurses dragged Adaku out of the room. As Adaku was being dragged out of the hospital, approaching the hospital gate, she could not see again. The blindness she planned was returned back to her by God. Her parents had reached the hospital too. They took her away to another hospital. Olaedo was discharged few days later as God restored her sight. The white wedding was fixed, done to the glory of God, and she lived happily ever after with her husband, Mr. Williams. Moral lessons from this story. Trust is fragile, and betrayal by those we hold dear leaves lasting scars. Envy and jealousy can destroy even the strongest of bonds. In the end, it is our character and choices that define us. Choose kindness, cherish your loved ones, and never let jealousy darken your hearts. Thank you for listening. Subscribe and share Africana stories with Ada. Share with your loved ones and stay updated as we have more over fresh stories to share with you. Thank you.